This video will demonstrate how to record narration for online class production at Madison College, professional and continuing education. We'll take the first 5 minutes or so to talk about why audio is important, compare quality levels of audio, and talk about the tools used to produce a polished professional sound. Then we'll go through the mechanics of using the audio editing tool Audacity, particularly for classes developed in Articulate Storyline 360. What is the place of audio in e-learning? Well, it can add human warmth, it can provide an authoritative voice, and there are times when it's really essential. How does it compare with the advantages of text? Text is fairly cheap, it's easily updated. Changing a text file requires little in the way of technical knowledge or special tools. Changing one word on a piece of voiceover, however, can involve getting the voiceover artist back in to record the new audio file, using special audio tools, and getting the sound levels right. Also getting it programmed back into the original e-learning course and synchronizing it with the animations. However, audio aids in keeping learners' interest and enhancing understanding and recall. Students can pause and repeat audio, similar to rereading for understanding. Audio is an important part of the e-learning content. Research done at Stanford University shows that users are more sensitive to the quality of audio than they are to the quality of the video. People notice tinny audio with massive reverb or echoing and variable sound levels. Learners expect consistently high quality at a consistent volume. Philips, the electronics manufacturer, also found that people perceived video picture quality to be better when a high quality sound accompanied the video. The opposite is also true. Sound has a huge impact on perceived online content quality. Audio quality, more than video, seems to affect the user's attention, memory, and opinion about what is heard. Audio appears to deliver more psychological bang for the buck than video alone. Now, each file that you'll hear was edited using the same software and in the same way. So the differences in sound quality are purely a result of hardware and environment. This audio is being recorded in a kitchen using my laptop's microphone. This audio is being recorded in a living room using my laptop's microphone. This audio is in a partially treated home studio using my computer's microphone. This audio is being recorded in a partially treated studio using an inexpensive headset. This audio is being recorded in a partially treated home studio using an external microphone. As you can see, the best sound quality comes from a cardioid condenser mic in a treated or padded room. Now, which of these would you rather hear when going through online training? It's interesting to note that good audio quality is not even really noticed, but bad audio quality is noticed and creates a negative opinion of the video content. Now, what is audio editing software? There are many editing software applications available on the market. Even PowerPoint has a simple editor for trimming or looping audio. Audio editing software is a tool to manipulate and improve the quality of the sound and to enable saving to different formats for use in many types of projects. Now we'll talk about how to record for courses built within Articulate Storyline 360. A recording studio doesn't really need to be expensive or even very high-tech. You need a treated space similar to the image here on the slide with plenty of soft sound-absorbing materials. Never use a garage, basement, or open space with no rugs, and it needs to have plenty of padding. An external mic, ideally with a pop filter to reduce the explosive P's and T's and S's, and a shock mount to eliminate noise due to vibrations. Headphones are important for listening to the audio and for editing. For software, Audacity is a free tool that's easy to use and powerful. They should be able to do everything we need to edit voiceover. After recording, you'll save the file as an AUP, which is the raw file, And this file is your master, and it's also for safety in case you do something that breaks the edited file. You've got your master to go back to. You'll then save the file as a WAV format. This is the format to upload to each slide in Articulate. Now, room 125 at West Campus is being set up with all of this equipment and software, so you don't have to worry about supplying it yourself. It should be available and usable for everybody.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the... Anyone?
We've talked about the importance of good quality audio for e-learning and how to get the best sound, but we haven't talked about the voice itself. Really, anyone can record for training purposes as long as the voice used is clear and professional with good articulation and expression. Warm up before beginning recording. Tongue twisters can help open your mouth and aid in articulation. Record in short segments. Makes it easier to fix errors without having to re-record a long narration. Keep a glass of water close by for use between recording slides. Slices of apples will help if you're recording for a long time during the day, and it helps to keep the throat clear. Try to record an entire class at the same time or in one sitting. This reduces the likelihood that the sound will differ on slides due to slightly different distances between your mouth and the mic, or a difference in your voice on different days. And then finally, make sure there is no noise in the room. Animals, phones, heat or air conditioning, buzzing lamps, or appliances will all be picked up in your recording. If you can hear it, the mic can hear it.
Once you have Audacity installed and open, you should be seeing a screen that looks like this. Let's first get familiar with the tools at the top. Keep in mind that your configuration may not look like mine because all of these tools can be undocked and moved around. So if your configuration is different, pause this video if needed and find the tool set being demonstrated. Usually in the top left are the player controls: record, stop, play, pause, skip to start, and skip to end. In the next set, be sure the iron bar is selected. The iron bar serves more or less as your cursor, or sometimes called playhead. During recording and playback, keep an eye on these meters. One is for input, the one with the microphone, and the other is for playback, the one with the speaker. Note the vertical bar over 0. Do not go past that bar or clipping will occur. That bar is at the 0.0 decibel mark. 0.0 decibels is the highest level for digital audio. Keep your audio levels to the left of that mark. If you need to stretch out the meters for a better view, you can. Now let's enter our personal settings. The slider for the playback and the microphone should be set about in the middle to begin. You can adjust them when doing a mic check before the actual recording. Please remember to do this mic check before recording. Underneath the sliders on this configuration are some drop-down menus. First, MME, Multimedia Extensions, is the default and offers compatibility with the most number of computers. Windows Direct Sound is more recent and offers potentially less latency, the time between when you speak and when it is recorded. If you're unsure of which one to select, do a test and see which one sounds better. If you can't hear a difference, then you have your answer. Next, select how you want to listen to your playback, your speakers, in other words. It's recommended that you listen back through a good pair of audio headphones. Then, in the microphone drop-down menu, you should see your mic, if you have it plugged in and turned on. If you don't see the mic you want to use, close Audacity and make sure your mic is plugged in and then relaunch Audacity. The transcription toolbar lets you replay a selection at a slower or faster speed as you listen for something particular. Leave it at its default of 1. Lastly, on this row, you select whether you want to record in mono or stereo, and you want stereo, of course. In the bottom left window is a very important setting, project rate in Hertz, HZ. The default should be 44/100. If it isn't, go to Edit, Preferences, select Quality in the left-hand menu, and then set the default sample rate to 44/100 Hertz and the default sample format to 16-bit. Okay, we should be ready to record. Remember that being ready to record means that you have conducted a microphone check, your input levels are not too high or too low, your microphone is positioned correctly to avoid overpowering the mic with plosives or sibilants. Okay, with our settings in place, we should now be ready to record. The first thing we're going to do is to click on the big red record button and then wait for 3 seconds as we record the ambient noise in the room. Let's get started. This is a brief tutorial on the son of Citation Machine, sometimes called simply Citation Machine. Its URL is citationmachine.net. It is the first and most widely used citation machine on the internet. Here's how to use it for APA citations. Step 1. In the Choose Your Style section, select APA. Okay, now that we have our selection recorded, about 30 seconds, let's go ahead and use the zoom out tool to bring it on down so that we can get the entire clip on our screen. And that looks pretty good. The second thing we're going to do is to take a look, really close look, by zooming in of this opening section here. And as you can see, there are little dots and squiggles and whatnot on it indicating the presence of noise. And if we play it back, we might be able to hear some of that noise. A little of this and a little of that. Now, to get rid of the little of this and little of that, with that section highlighted, we go to Effect and Noise Removal. And the first thing we do is to get Noise Profile. Now that we have the noise profile, we select the entire clip. We can go Control A, or we can zoom out and use our playhead to select the whole thing. Once we have the entire clip selected, we go back to Effect, back to Noise Removal, and this time we're going to preview what it's going to sound like without the noise. This is a brief tutorial on the son of Citation Machine, sometimes called simply Citation. Okay, sounds good. I definitely got a pop on the shun there that I'm going to have to take care of. But we will go ahead and take out the noise by clicking OK. Now, if we zoom back in, you'll see that the once line that had the little pops on it now no longer has anything on it, and that is indicating silence. So let's go ahead and cut that off. We're finished with it. We don't need it anymore. It served our purposes. Okay, the next thing we want to do is to apply normalization. Now, normalization simply means that you apply a constant amount of gain in order to bring up the peak to a target level. So you bring it up as high as you can. For example, this is a peak right here. Probably a mistake on my part. Let's see what that peak consists of. It's a good peak. In other words, it's not a goof, it's not a bad sound, it's a normal peak. And so we're going to bring the whole thing up to a target level. So let's select the whole clip. We go to Effect. We go to Normalize. And you notice that I have my normalization set at minus 2.0. If you want to get a little bit louder, you can go to negative 1.0. Taking it all the way to the max, the 0.0 is risky. So 1.0, 1.5 is about as high as I like to go. I like to keep it at about 2.0 and let the user provide more or less volume if he or she wishes. So with our target set at negative 2.0 decibels, let's preview the sound. This is a brief tutorial on the son of Citation Machine, sometimes called simply Citation Machine. I think that is plenty of volume, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK. All right, now that normalization has been applied, the next thing we want to apply is equalization, or sometimes called EQ. If you go to equalization, you see a panel here that is divided into three main parts. Over here on the left are the bass frequencies. In the middle are the midtones, and on the right are the trebles. Now, what equalization does, it basically boosts or reduces selected frequencies in order to get a really natural sounding voice. Now, there are predefined curves that you can apply. Telephone, walkie-talkie, RIAA, recording industries, a bass boost, a bass cut, a treble boost, whatnot. I like the AM radio, and let's go ahead and preview AM radio, since this is more or less a podcast. This is a brief tutorial on the son of Citation Machine, sometimes called simply Citation Machine. Maybe a little bit muffled, but it definitely took out my problem with sibilance. If I wanted to add a little bit of sibilance back in, I could sneak up these treble sliders over here. See what that sounds like. This is a brief tutorial on the son of Citation Machine, sometimes called simply Citation Machine. Definitely got to get that shun out. A plosive. Okay, let's go ahead and click OK. Equalization is applied. Now, we're going to highlight it again, and we're going to apply the compressor. Compressor, often called DRC, or dynamic range compressor. And what it does is it reduces loud sounds and it increases soft sounds. Let's go ahead and preview what we've got. This is the default compressor setting. Let's preview what we've got. This is a brief tutorial on the son of Citation Machine, sometimes called simply. Okay, let's go ahead and apply it. Now all we need to do is, now that we've compressed it, we're going to bring the gain back up a little bit by renormalizing it to our 2.0. We should see things increase a little bit. Yes, and they did indeed. Okay, we should be finished now except taking out our shun. Let's see what it sounds like. This is a brief tutorial on the son of Citation Machine, sometimes called simply Citation Machine. There it is. URL. Okay, let's focus in on that problem. We're going to put our playhead right on top of it, and we're going to come on out until we see it. There it is right there. If I loop that, you're probably going to hear that plosive. Yeah, hear that plosive. And so what I can do, now that I've got that plosive isolated, and you can zoom on in until, you're just right on top of it. Got that plosive isolated. And I'm going to simply bring down the gain on it. It might be too much. Let's see. We want to kind of make it equal with the waves around it. Let's see what we get. It looks pretty good. Okay, let's see what it sounds like now. We'll loop a larger portion of it. Still a little breathy, isn't it? Let's see if we can bring it down a little bit more. See what that sounds like. Well, we might just have to live with that. I think we've done as well as we can there. This is a brief tutorial on the son of Citation Machine, sometimes called simply Citation Machine. Its URL is citationmachine.net. It is the first and most widely used citation machine on the internet. A little bit of a breath right before that. So let's zoom in. I'll let you hear the breath. It is the first and most widely used citation. Hear the breath? Like that. So we'll isolate the breath and hit silence right there. Now the breath is gone. Let's loop it. Net. It is the there you go. The breath is gone. Okay, let's continue playing. It is the first and most widely used citation machine on the internet. Here's how to use it for APA citations. Step 1. In the Choose Your Style section, select APA. Okay, excellent. Okay, we've got a good little clip there. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. We don't need it. Cut it off. Zoom out. If this is a little bit too loud for your taste, it is definitely louder than the other sounds around it. It's no problem whatsoever. Let's see what we got going on there in terms of sound. Step. Okay. So let's just reduce the gain on this a little bit. Let's zoom in, make sure we got everything. And we'll reduce the gain. Step. Okay. Effect, amplify, take down the gain. Let's see what we got. Yeah, see how that looks now more like the others. Let's see if it plays better. Step 1. Yeah, it definitely plays better. Okay. So those are just some of the things that you can do with Audacity. Now to render it out, you go to File, Export. You want to export it as a wave. I'll bring this up so that you can see it. You want to save it as a wave file. WAV, 16-bit pulse control modulation. And so this is our 30-second clip. Let's save it. And we'll put this in my Audacity tutorial folder. And that would be what I would upload for grading. Good luck with yours.